Hello, everyone. Any web novel readers, YouTube video trawlers, people interested in web novels, or first-time readers, and just visitors in general. This is going to be my first web novel summary on this channel, temporarily known as Drifting, and possibly in the future, web novel analyst and reviewer, abbreviated to WAR. And hopefully, my first web novel analysis and subsequent analyses will follow shortly behind this video. However, looking at how long this original audio was technically supposed to last, around 2 hours, that might take a little bit. So yeah, I really intend to make this a weekly thing. That's the goal. So yeah, when I do get that up and running, that's going to be quite cool. So when I first started reading the story, I knew I had something amazing on my hands. And the reason why I knew that is because the way that the author wrote the material, the topic he chose was just different than anything else. And I was just as excited when I started preparing this because I knew I would be able to share with everyone an amazing story. Now, before I get into the book, the name, summary, and other relevant information, I just want to say a couple of my personal thoughts on this project I've undertaken. Personally, I feel like at worst, a story thief and a gem polisher. The reason why is because my job and task currently is to summarize and in doing so bastardize such a well-written story for everyone's enjoyment, entertainment, whatever reason that you decided to watch this video. Now originally I wanted to do a spoiler and non-spoiler version, and that might still be in the works. However, looking at how long it takes to produce a video and just with the way things are going, I decided against it, although it might change in the future, as I feel like I don't have the ability or even the time at this current moment. Now, there's going to be some spoilers in the summary, but I will give a spoiler warning unless I decide to chunk it out. But just letting you know, my analysis, when I get there, as well as possibly part of the summary, may ruin your first time reading experience. However, you're definitely welcome to listen in and watch my videos if you're not interested in reading or anything. So now let's get into some of the reasoning. Why do I feel like a story thief? And I really feel like a story thief because I've taken that which does not belong to me. I've really taken the story from the author. Like, they're the person who's written the story, it's theirs, and I've taken it from them, and I'm trying to introduce it to everyone. I feel kind of similar to Prometheus stealing fire from the gods, although I'm not really doing anything as grand. I also feel like a gem polisher, right? Because I'll be introducing everyone to some stories, hopefully some mainstream, but I'll be mainly trying to focus on non-translated ones, some of the ones that haven't gotten that much attention. But mainly, generally my standard is I try to pick ones that deserve to be read. Now, there's a very famous Chinese saying that goes, gold always shines, right? But in this deluge of online information and IPs, which stands for intellectual properties, it's always difficult to find that gold when it's been caked in mud, surrounded by rocks, or even to find the piece of diamond in the rock. And as a critic or analyst, I'll be trying to bring out the shine in these treasured stories. Unfortunately, I don't currently have the ability to write such an amazing story like some of these authors. Although I could definitely try. I personally feel like at the moment I don't have that imagination, their writing skill, and coming up with such ideas. And I just don't have enough experience in general. And so I settle for being the person to first appraise these gems, right? Or at least being one of the first to polish it. Now, in the past, I remember reading a story, possibly a manga, but I'm pretty sure it was a story, where two people were discussing what a hidden gem was, and it was such an interesting conversation. Now, the first commenter and the person who read it, really, really well-written guy. He said, he said something along the lines of, a hidden gem is best when it's hidden, since, it shines brightest when the light is shined in the darkest crevices of a cave. Those hidden gems shines brilliantly there, and once it's brought out into the mainstream, people start to leave grime on it, and then because of that, a hidden gem is best when it's hidden away to be discovered by others, right? You leave a gem in nature for others to find it off the beaten path. Now, that's an interesting thought. And the other commenter, he wrote quite succinctly, and then he had different ideas and from a different school of thought. He said something along the lines of, a hidden gem is best when it's shared. The more that people interact with it, the more that it gets polished and recognized. Now, it's very similar to the English saying, a diamond in the rough. And yeah, I thought that was just an interesting story to talk about in this tangent. And another quick analysis tangent I could probably go on would be in web novels, especially Chinese web novels. Traditional Chinese medicine is a very divisive topic, and especially in whether to teach it or not. The philosophy of that, but that's another reference for later. Possibly even yoga if you really want to get into it. And one last thing for context. I started this project while leaving my history of web novels videos unfinished, as I kind of got tired out, as I currently am now, of this as well. But I really needed a change of pace, so I might insert information like that may not pertain to this topic, but ones that I found interesting, and I included it in, or at least in the full audio I did. I may decide to chunk it up later, just to keep the spoiler and non-spoiler sections separated. But with the way things are going, I generally do full read throughs. And one last note, uh, generally a lot of the things I talk about, if I'm interested, I put a lot of this stuff in photos in a credits document below. And sometimes I go in tangents and explain my thoughts, although don't expect too much. It's really just more for documentation. But when I do find something interesting or whatnot, I really do go more in depth into it. So you might want to check out if there's something interesting that catches your eye. Go down to the credits document and search it up. You might find some results. I put a lot of cool sites, but it definitely is a slog because it really is just more documentation. I may decide in the future to take do a video commentary and just look at the documents and thoughts as well. But that's really more for another video on BTS. I'll explain what BTS is later. I might explain it or just add it to the description box below, but really I'm not ready yet. But yeah, so I may decide to do something like that in the future, but right now at the moment, I just want to stay focused.